My philosophy is quite simple, actually. It's people, family, and mission, all right? People are our greatest asset. Without them, we're nothing, and we could not deliver the great products and services that we provide to the fleet. You have to take care of them. We want them to be here, to be part of the mission, to be part of our team. You have to treat people with respect. I believe you have to treat people the way that you want to be treated. You have to recognize them once again, and you always have to assume noble intent. No one is trying to do something bad or with ill intent. Usually you have to look at it from their perspective, seek to understand. And you always want to train your replacement. You need to develop other folks. That's our obligation as leaders to do that. Have your replacement trained and pick backups. That not only ensures their development, makes them feel valued, but it also ensures the success of the organization now. So with that, you have to have a work-life balance, and you have to ensure our folks do that. You can't work 70 hours a week, week after week. You will burn out, okay? That is just pure and simple. You can't do it. So I tell folks, find that work-life balance, find that stress relief. What are you going to go do? Yoga, go to the gym, play golf, go fishing. But you got to figure out also a time when I'm just going to shut the computer, put the phone down. I'm no longer going to work. I got to take a break. All right, because if you get burnt out, it's not going to go well. And your family's going to need your time. Your loved ones will need your time. And you're not going to be them for them. And then they'll pull on you. And that creates more stress for you and for your family, okay? So you have to be able to have that balance. Otherwise, you're not going to be there when the mission calls. Now, family is very important, okay? I think of my teammates here at NAWCTSD just like family. But we all have family and loved ones on the outside, the folks we go home to, the folks we socialize with on the weekends sometimes that are not part of the NAWCTSD team. You have to be there for life's moments. I tell folks there's no such thing as a unicorn, okay? Everyone can be replaced. One of my old XOs once told me, Stucky, if you get hit by a bus, it's going to be a hard week or two for the squadron. We're going to lose our NATOPS pilot. We're going to lose our night vision goggle instructor. But in 3 weeks, we'll have a replacement on board, and we'll be fine. We'll get on with it. Your family needs you. That would be irrecoverable for them. So go home to your family and be with them, okay? People say, I can't miss that event. We could probably send somebody else. We can probably move the event, even if you are the one person that's qualified to do it. There's always a solution, and we can't have people miss out on life's milestones. And then there's the mission. There are times when the mission will be the highest priority. And I name my things in order: people, family, and mission. Every once in a while, and you have to do it, prioritize it in that order, but every once in a while, the mission will take precedence. And you're gonna have to work those extra hours. You're gonna have to tell the family, I need to stay extra. It's very important to know when to do that. If you find yourself in my office at 6 o'clock at night talking about what colors we're gonna paint the wall, we're doing it wrong. All right, that is not important enough. So we need to realize when is it a priority and when we need to put in the extra hours. Otherwise, we're just going to burn ourselves out and we won't be ready to be there to answer the call when it's needed. It's important to recognize your folks, okay? It's so important. Think about how you felt when folks recognize you. It makes you feel good, right? But we have a habit of only recognizing folks for outcomes, for things that they did that resulted in something great, okay? But sometimes you have to recognize folks for trying to do something, okay? In acquisition, we live in a world, but we have imperfect information, and we use risk management to get through that. People have to make a decision based on the information they have, make a calculated risk, and move forward. Otherwise, we will suffer from paralysis by analysis, and we'll never get things done. Also, I tell folks, I'd rather you move 3 times as fast, fail once along the way. I'm talking about an epic failure. Learn something, okay? Incorporate those lessons learned in what you're doing, spread it throughout the command, all right, and go forward. Because if you move at that pace, you're going to finish faster than if you kept going at the original pace. And folks will have learned from it, all right? So that's a good thing. Now, I told the XO I want to create an award based on behaviors, on the way we want people to act. and he helped me coin the phrase, "This is the way." And that's how we came up with that award, okay? Now, it's very important. I even tell folks, I'm waiting for an epic failure where someone had, and I'm gonna assume, noble intent. They tried to do something good for the warfighter, and it just didn't work out. And I want to give them an award for that. I'm still waiting for that to happen. I ask folks, bring this up to me. Bring me one of those examples, and I want to show folks it's okay to do that. Now, we had an example where it worked, this worked out in the end, but Chris Sprague and Vanny Rodriguez, they were doing a test for a piece of equipment we developed here in the labs. They were on site doing it somewhere else, and they were missing a piece of equipment. So they could have tried to do the test. It would have failed, cost a lot of money, they had to reschedule it anyway, but they didn't. They looked on the internet for a company that might have that piece of equipment. Okay, they found the company, they tried to call them, couldn't get a hold of them, and it was only about 3 hours away. But so they drove out to the company, knocked on the door. All right, and think about that. Some initial awkwardness was there at first. They explained what they needed. They were able to come back with that piece of equipment. Okay, now they did a successful test and they moved on. Program remained on schedule, on budget. They could have said it's not my job, or let's just do it without the equipment and see what happens without that critical piece of gear we needed. It would have cost money and schedule. But because of that, the fleet got what they needed on time. All right, and I think the command likes those awards, okay, because we're talking about behaviors we want to emulate, and they're learning from their teammates. And also, I want them to feel, and I believe they're starting to realize this, that we have their back. Just because you didn't come out with that successful outcome, it's not the end of the world. We're not in a zero defect place here. I'd rather folks learn from their mistakes and move forward. And that's the kind of culture we're trying to create here. Okay, I think the event was very successful, and I believe everyone really liked the event. It was a great success. We used to do this in the past. We used to have Teammate Appreciation Month, but some folks, I was told, thought it was maybe a bit too spread out. So we decided to come back with, and as a matter of fact, it was Brian Roscoe, our PAO, said, hey, how about we do a Teammate Appreciation Week? So him and Lauren Luna helped organize these events throughout the week. And it culminated with Bring Your Kids to Work Day. And that was really good. It made everyone feel valued, and they got to bring their family members to work to see all the great things we're doing here for the fleet, all the capability we have. And we had demos in all the labs. We had a cookout, and folks just got to see what it was like to bring their family to work, and their family got to see what their parents were doing. It was really spectacular, and we plan on doing this again. I think our teammates really like this, and we definitely plan on doing it again next year. Okay, lunch with leadership is a great concept. I believe in leadership by walking around, but sometimes that's hard because you're a moving target, and folks don't know where you're going to be and when, and you miss folks even if you have a pattern. I try to have a pattern, so I go to different places. I'm not always going to the same place to see the same folks, but sometimes folks aren't there. So we came up with lunch with leadership. This way, you know where the leaders are going to be and when. And we have a member of the front office group, either myself, the XO, the ED, or the acquisition director. And the XO's like, we'll do it at lunchtime so folks can come see us. We do it a different day of the week at a different time, so it doesn't interfere with folks' standing meetings. I have a meeting every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. I'm never going to be able to make it. And our teammates are coming out to it, and we get a moderate attendance, which is good, because you wouldn't want to sit at a table with 30 people. We have a nice sized group of people attend every week. You get to know your teammates. We have some repeat offenders, some folks that come in that are new. Talk about their interests, their hobbies, what sports teams they like. Some people like the Yankees more than the Red Sox. But you really get to understand the things that, just basic interests of our teammates. And then every once in a while you hear about a barrier that they're facing or a resource they need. And I always tell my folks, what authorities do you need to do your job? What resource do you need? And if you have any barriers, you need to let folks know. I always tell them, and I get to hear it from me at the lunch table there, if you come to an impasse with another teammate, with someone else in the organization, or someone else in another organization, you have this impasse, don't let it fester. Raise it up, to the next level within 24 to 48 hours. And if people do that, there's nothing that wouldn't be right here in the front office within a week, and we can help them solve the problem. Vice them waiting months, and then the leadership team or the front office group is faced with an ultimatum, and we really can't help them. And it resonates with the team when they hear that, like, oh, you mean we can raise it up? Absolutely. I tell folks not to struggle. So that was a great, I had that conversation about 3 times since we've done it, and folks, oh, I get it now. And they're telling other folks, because I've heard them talk about, you know what so-and-so said at lunch with leadership, and it was really good that folks are talking about the conversations they're having with us, which is good. And I think the team really likes it because every once in a while we get to help them, but more often than not, they just get to talk to us and see that we're just like them. We have what we like and what we dislike, and things that we do outside of work, as well as things that we're worried about while we're at work. I grew up in the Bronx. Okay, my parents did not have a lot of money, but they valued education and setting goals and working to achieve those goals. Now, from an early age, I wanted to serve my country. I knew I wanted to go into the military and be part of a bigger team. But as a teenager, I realized I wanted to fly jets off of carriers. It became a dream of mine. And I went and talked to some folks, and they said the only way to do that is to be at the top of your class at everything you do. So with that, I made education my priority, and I set some goals. And I worked really hard, and I achieved them. Because of that, I got to go and fly jets off of carriers. But what's even better is I got to work my way to be here, to be the CEO of NAWCTSD. And this is one of the best kept secrets in the Navy. The work we do here is incredible. We have a direct and positive impact on almost every sailor and Marine. The products and services we provide allow them to hone their skills so they can operate their weapon systems at the edges of the envelope, so they can preserve the peace and, if necessary, win in combat and return home safely. And returning home safely is very important. We take that very seriously. And that's how we contribute to the overall mission. We allow the fleet to stand ready and come home safely. And I'm very proud of the team for being able to do that.